Sometimes, we wish we could just see our old favorite games in a new light, and that's where remakes come in. We've put together a list of 8 JRPGs that were graciously given a fresh coat of paint in 2023 to 2024. So if you're a long-time fan of these games, make sure you check it out.
Hey, this is Sean from Gamer Braves. It's been 8 years since we established Gamer Braves channel. We went to a lot of overseas game conference. We did a lot of exclusive interview with a lot of prominent figures from the industry, Ryuzo Sugimoto, Sean Layden, and even Yagu. One of the easiest way to support us is to subscribe to our channel. Support like this will actually gives us motivation and pushes us to produce better content. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of the video.
Romancing Saga 2 has never looked this good, because we got a full 3D remake of the original game from 1993. And it's called Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven. Now this one is truly a remake, with the majority of the game being completely redone from the ground up, like the battle and progression systems. For one, the 2D pixel world has been completely expanded to 3D, letting us see the world like never before. One unique change in combat is the way your characters learn new skills. There's something called glimmering techniques that is indicated by a light bulb, and every character on the field has a chance to learn a new skill, depending on the weapon they use. The brighter the light bulb, the higher the chance of unlocking a new skill. So this system really encourages you to try out different things and participate in more battles. Every enemy has weaknesses to certain attack types, so it's necessary to try out various skills to figure out which one the enemy is weak to. With enough attacks, you also fill up an overdrive bar that lets your characters release a massive united attack. Overall, Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven is an incredible reimagining of the original game from over 30 years ago. It's currently out on the PS4, PS5, PC, and Switch. Once again, the Yakuza series gets another spin-off, and Like a Dragon Ishin was first released in 2014. But now, we've gotten a remake of it, which brings a decent amount of changes. For one, the cast has changed, so we get to see the lovable Yakuza cast get thrown back to the 1860s era, where you, as Kazuma Kiryu, Sakamoto Ryoma, will bring an end to the samurai era and forever change the future of Japan. Despite having Like a Dragon in its name, it still retains the Yakuza beat-em-up style of combat. You can take up a few styles of combat. You can fight barehanded with the brawler, wield a katana with the swordsman, use a revolver as the gunman, or even both as the wild dancer. As per tradition, Yakuza games will always have a bunch of goofy minigames, and Ishin is no different, other than the fact that the minigames are from the 19th century. Overall, Like a Dragon Ishin is another interesting spin-off involving the cast we're all familiar with. It's currently out on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Final Fantasy VII has become one of the most well-known Final Fantasy games, and it got a remake in 2020. However, that's just part 1 of the story, which is why we've got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and the remake in general, is taking a hybrid approach to its combat, with a mix of action and turn-based combat. Characters can move, attack, dodge, and block in real time, which makes things feel very fast-paced. Every character also has unique abilities for specific situations, so you are encouraged to switch characters often so you can make full use of them. Additionally, a revamped version of what is called the Active Time Battle, or ATB, makes a return with a few tweaks, and that is where the turn-based side of things come into play. The ATB commands will basically stop time and let you assess the situation, letting you unleash some really powerful ATB attacks. The entire Final Fantasy VII story will be 3 parts, and part 3 is already confirmed to be in the works, so now's a good time to start Final Fantasy VII itself. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was released on the PS5 in 2024, and luckily, we have a PC version coming in 2025. The original Dragon Quest III from 1988 is considered to be one of the most influential JRPGs, and it's been given a new breath of life with the HD 2D treatment. HD 2D is the hot topic of JRPGs recently, especially when remaking old JRPGs. It utilizes 3D environments, realistic lighting, and a combination of high fidelity and pixelated sprites to give this super unique look. Combat-wise, like we said, it's very traditional, but its charms come before the combat itself. There are no set-in-stone party members. Every party member of yours can be recruited from the ground up and be customized extensively, so you won't get that FOMO of not bringing your favorite character. Every character can take on a job out of 10 in total. Then, you can assign personalities to them, which is an interesting take on the trait system of other games. Once you're done, you can get to customizing their appearance, hair, voice, and their name, and then finally bring them on your journey. Overall, the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake is a very faithful one, staying very true to the influential classic while making it accessible for more people to try. It's currently on the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Switch. And by the way, this one is actually the prequel to Dragon Quest 1 and 2, which is also getting a HD 2D treatment very soon. Persona is an incredibly popular series, and its most recent major release is Persona 3 Reload, though it technically came out years ago. Persona 3 originally came out in 2006 and got many revisions over the years, but Reload is the penultimate version of it, fully remaking the game on modern hardware. It's been reloaded with a fresh coat of paint using Unreal Engine 4, making it one of the most gorgeous Persona games we have ever seen. What's gorgeous as usual is the presentation as well, with Atlus's unique UI design and soundtrack. Combat-wise, it has a bunch of staple mechanics from the Persona series, where combat has you making full use of your kit to exploit the enemy's weaknesses. One of your signature tools are the Personas themselves, where your main character can inherit these powers and receive special abilities. There are close to 200 Personas, all of which have unique abilities, so there's a ton for you to try out. Overall, its combat absolutely has you thinking about your best moves, or you could absolutely get steamrolled by the enemy. It's not necessary to play other Persona games first, so you can just feel free to jump into Persona 3 Reload. It's currently out on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Star Ocean: The Second Story R, or Remake, has been completely remade in a new light. The most obvious change will be the modern graphic style that we've recently seen with certain remakes and remasters of very old games, and this is another one of them. The graphics are absolutely stunning, bringing life to this old and outdated pixel world with 3D environments, realistic lighting, and a mix of good old pixel art, letting us see a version of the world like never before. The combat takes place in a 2.5D perspective. You can choose between Claude, who is able to string combos together aggressively, and Rena, who focuses on using more spells from the backline instead. While the combat looks a bit mutton mashy, a lot of skill and strategy is required as well, like for example using specific skills for specific use cases, and even dodging at the perfect time to avoid damage, but whiffing it will turn it into a disadvantage for you, so it can be quite punishing as well. Overall, Star Ocean: The Second Story Remake is a very fast-paced and satisfying action JRPG. The combat heavily rewards pulling off some insane strings of combos with various skills and abilities to shift things into your favor, while still being able to punish you for not paying attention. It's out on the PS4, PS5, PC, and Switch. The very first Atelier game to come out in 1997 has been fully remade, and it's called Atelier Mary, the Alchemist of Salburg. The story is simple and straightforward to follow. Marie is studying alchemy at the Royal Academy of Magic. One day, her professor grants her an atelier as part of the graduation exam, and Marie must produce an item that will impress her professor to pass. But she has to work on her alchemy skills first, because she literally has the worst grades in the academy due to her laid-back and carefree attitude, which I think some of us can relate to. So you'll be spending your time gathering resources and taking part in some casual turn-based combat, because these monsters drop useful resources as well. Meanwhile, you can take on some side quests, that of which have pretty generous deadlines, so there's no pressure to prioritize your tasks here and there. Like even the main graduation exam has a deadline of 5 whole years. With all these resources, it's time to work on synthesis, which is where you'll be spending a good chunk of your time trying out all the different types of combinations and resources and recipes and so on. Combined with the adorable presentation and soundtrack, the Atelier Marie Remake is an incredibly chill game that you can just take your time with. It is currently out on the PS4, PS5, PC, and Switch. Super Mario RPG from 1996 got an incredibly faithful 3D remake, and it is an interesting blend of RPG elements with the Mario franchise, which is usually known for its platforming gameplay. As usual, the plot of these games are pretty straightforward, with Mario saving Princess Peach from Bowser. Unlike a lot of Mario games, Super Mario RPG has turn-based battles instead. That's pretty simple yet engaging. Timing your attacks perfectly allows your characters to receive less damage or deal more damage by attacking all enemies. Every successful action will fill up a gauge, and when full, allows all 3 characters to deal massive damage, that of which will change depending on who's in your party. Additionally, there's a breezy difficulty setting that just lets you enjoy the game stress-free. Along with the light-hearted story and charming presentation, the Super Mario RPG remake will certainly bring a lot of people back into the past for a chill gaming session. It's currently available on the Nintendo Switch. And that wraps up our list for the best JRPG remakes that came out in these 2 years. Luckily, a lot of these games are in a series of other games, so there's a good chance that the rest of the games might eventually get the same treatment. So let us know which games you want to see remade, and don't forget to subscribe for more future videos just like this one.